Hey, it's Amy. I wanted to come on today because I have been doing some research this morning on a park that our township is creating. It's 40 acres. It's called the Kirk Schuring Park, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the park area and some of the things that I want to talk about in this video, and also in the subsequent blog posts that I'm working on, are the overdevelopment of our park, the blatant disregard for nature and stormwater usage or stormwater mitigation by our township, by the residences at the Greens, which you'll see how they're connected, and maybe suggestions for how to get better transparency and buy-in, cooperation, actual listening to residents. I'll try to incorporate that at the end. But let me share my screen because what I did is I worked in AutoCAD, which is kind of my forte. And I'm going to share the screen with you. This is essentially, let me zoom out here. It is the Stark Parks. All that in yellow is Stark Parks. All this in purple is Jackson Township's 40 acres. Okay, so right here is the residences at the Greens, which I've done a blog post and video about. Those are the apartments that are in the Energy Special Improvement District. And then you see the Meyer Plaza. So up here in this like upper northeastern corner is where Fulton comes across. And so essentially, Jackson Township has 40 acres that they are proposing to do a tournament scale soccer field or soccer complex. And I don't think that's a good use of anyone's money, whether it's taxpayer money or grant money. I think that what we could do is put some things there that the township residents would actually like, perhaps a dog park. We've talked about that. I talked about that in my campaign, and a dog park, potentially another nice walking trail that you could walk your dog also. Hey, dog lovers. And, my kids like Gaga Ball and, places for kids to play, not just economic development driven projects. But what I want to say is this 40 acres, I have basically a layer that is on my AutoCAD. So let me pop that on and it will show you the projects that Jackson Township is proposing. So this is just an overlay to scale of the Tam O'Shanter, now Kirk Schuring Park. So what you can see is this area up here is the residences at the Greens. It is not grass. It is currently a bunch of buildings and apartments. So they're potentially going to be using these parking spaces, just FYI. And then, I don't know if you remember, let me flip this back off. See how Jackson Township property is like really strangely shaped. This yellow section here in the middle is actually Stark Parks. So when you, let me see if I can select it. I kind of selected it. You can see a little bit this outline, the outline of where Stark Parks is. So Jackson Township isn't developing that because they don't own it. And I'm actually going to turn it off, but what I want to highlight now is the stormwater easement that our trustees approved for the residences at the Greens. And just full disclosure, I did share this in, I believe, my blog post, but the Energy Special Improvement District, that is the residences at the Greens, Randy Gonzalez is on the board to I don't know what he's on the board because he represents the township in this energy improvement district. But basically, he brought this stormwater easement to the trustees and got their approval on it. So in my opinion, they basically just asked themselves if it's okay for them to put this easement onto township property. I'm turning this back off so you can see essentially this stormwater easement, this little tiny black triangle, sort of not triangle, that little tiny black area is the stormwater easement. Okay, so what that is allowing is it's allowing all the stormwater from the residences at the greens in that green area right here on the map, all the pavement, all the driveways, all the asphalt, all of that potentially could drain through Jackson Township's property onto Stark Park's property. So you see down here, let me see if I can make a little circle here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but this circle, right, this like oval shape here is a low area. So those are contours. I'm going to turn off the contour line so you can see what I'm talking about. All those little lines that I had on there are contours that show the slope and the, you know, contour of the land there. And when I turn it back on, you see that that stormwater easement is basically funneling the water down to a pond on the Stark Parks property. So I'm just here to find the truth in the matter. When I heard about this stormwater easement approval, I thought, well, that is really strange that, you know, I'm sitting here in a trustee meeting and a small little item on the agenda says, you know, approved stormwater easement. They just eyed right through it, approved the stormwater easement. And here come to find out after doing my research, cross-referencing all of this information and providing it now for you on the video, this is what they're approving. They're approving the water from the residences at the greens to go onto Stark Park's land. And I don't know if Stark Parks is involved, if they even realize this is happening. But, you know, all these things go on behind closed doors. I have no idea. But just to bring up this Kirk Schuring soccer complex again, this area right here is where that storm water easement is, and it will kind of go like through under the roadway perhaps. I don't know how it's going to be built out because this project, you know, that you see on the screen has not been constructed yet. And I hope it doesn't get constructed. I hope that they don't do this, that they put in some paved walking trails for the residents and like I shared earlier, some other options that people actually want. But I also think this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen there, but I also think this goes back to a bigger issue of, you know what, our township is moving forward with these projects. It's not good for nature. The soccer fields themselves are not good for nature. Like the root structure on grass is like this big. It doesn't absorb water. So you have soccer fields and pavement that also don't absorb water. And then you're just dumping it all into the Stark Parks, like wetland area. So I'm actually going to, I think, volunteer tomorrow to help restore some of that wetland area. And I just think, you know what? They're working extra hard to compensate for this illegal dumping, essentially, of the stormwater that it has been, you know, approved by our township trustees. So pay attention, people. Like, that's my message for today. I'm finding the truth in our world, in our township, and that's what I wanted to just bring to you today. I'm going to be also writing a full blog post on this, so you can look through, all the different things that I provided. It'll show the approved easement. It'll show, everything that I talked about today. So thank you so much if you're watching this. And just wanted you to know this is kind of the path that I'm on right now. I am going to link the different places that you can donate and subscribe to my channel and donate to me financially to help provide more insight on transparency and truth seeking in the world. And so just that's, like I like to end with, this is something I'm sharing, but I would love to hear your opinion on it. And you can leave comments in the comment section and say hello. And yeah, that's all for today. Thanks again for watching, and have a great Friday, guys. Bye.